and welcome back to my channel. Before I get into this video, make sure you like, subscribe, and hit that bell so you get notified when I post new videos. So once again, the MJ documentary aired last night. Yay! And you know what that means? Part 7 and Part 8 reactions by me. So first, let's discuss one of the most talked about points from the documentary, him retiring and going to play baseball. MJ had just come off a three-peat, which is extremely hard to do. He seemed tired, but no one knew exactly what he was gonna do. And he even said in the documentary, the only people who knew he was gonna go play baseball was him and his dad. And that's what he did. He wanted to play baseball and he went and played. It also showed how good MJ is, not just because of his basketball talent, but because of how hard he works. They were saying he probably could have made the major leagues had he kept playing. And it wasn't because he was this ultra talented baseball player, although I'm sure he had some kind of talent, but it was because he was practicing and working so hard to make sure that his game was amazing. That's one thing you can take away from MJ from this documentary. If you didn't know already, he's a hard worker. And then of course, baseball had the strike, and it might have come at just the perfect time. MJ had been out of basketball for a while. He talks to BJ Armstrong and they go out to eat some food. BJ says, come to practice. He practices and they end up playing a full one-on-one, like basically a full practice. And then from there on, you saw the clip show it. Oh, he played 3 times this week with the Chicago Bulls. It kind of seemed like the perfect timing to get him back into basketball. And MJ said in the documentary, he was like, maybe I can go back to playing. Everything happens for a reason, people. Now let's backtrack a little bit and talk about how the Bulls were when he was gone. My takeaway from the Bulls the year after MJ left is that 1, MJ is irreplaceable, which we already knew. And 2, that Scottie was a great leader that year. Now, of course, the moment later in the playoffs, which we'll talk about in a second, but before that, I mean, the team was really good and they made the playoffs without MJ. And Scottie was their leader that season. Now, when they're in the playoffs, Scottie was like, hey, I'm the leader of this team. I should be taking the last shot, when Phil Jackson drew up a play for Tony Kukoc. So he said, you know what? I'm sitting. I'm not playing. And everybody was just shocked. Everyone was like, is he really not playing? Is he really not going in? And we all know what happens. Tony hits the big shot. Way to go, Tony. But then they go into the locker room and it's just kind of eerie and you know, the ambiance is just off. It was a sad moment. I mean, you had to hear that Bill Cartwright came with a speech to Scottie and the whole team in general, basically saying, how could you do this to us? And he was crying. I feel bad for Scottie because you knew that he wasn't doing it out of a place to be mean to his teammates. It was just out of a place of stubbornness. In the end, what he did was not right, but at the same time, he knew immediately what he did was wrong and he felt so bad about it. I feel like a lot of people are gonna start hating on Scottie because of this documentary because there's a few, mistakes on his resume. But nobody's perfect. Now let's talk about the 95-96 Bulls. So MJ came back the year before in 95, towards the end of the season, wasn't in basketball shape, and Orlando beat them with Horace Grant, who was formerly a Bull. And you already know when MJ loses, especially to someone he knows so well like Horace Grant, he is not gonna let that go. It was so inspiring to see that his trainer said after that playoffs, although MJ usually takes a little time period off, he said, I'll see you tomorrow. That should motivate everybody watching this video. MJ was committed to being the best player ever, and he didn't care what he had to do, he was gonna do it to get there. He worked so hard to get back in basketball shape, and clearly it worked because, spoiler alert, they win another three-peat. And that summer is when he's filming Space Jam. I just wanna say, that's amazing that they built a whole basketball court and equipment, a whole place for him to work out and train. That's how you know MJ is the guy. Who else do you know while filming is gonna get a whole basketball court built for them and a whole gym? Okay, maybe some other celebrities can get that too. But MJ is still the man for that. And little did everybody coming to play pickup games with him, Reggie, Patrick Ewing, Sean Bradley, little did they know he was using that to 1, get in basketball shape, 2, relearn their tendencies, and 3, see where they've progressed from the summer. They probably knew it in the back of their mind subconsciously, but they didn't really think about it in the moment. And afterwards, they probably thought, oh no, we just fueled this guy even more. MJ clearly came back in incredible shape. I mean, the whole team did. They all saw MJ putting in the work and they said, we gotta put in the work too. My takeaway from that is that you gotta lead by example. You can't tell other players or other people to do something you're not doing yourself. MJ was working the hardest out of everybody, so they all knew they had to put in the work too. Also, if they weren't putting in the work, he was gonna let them know it. And the hard work paid off because the Bulls ended up with a 72-10 record, the best ever at that time. 73-9 Warriors, but at that time, best record ever. I remember when they talked about in the documentary how they were on the plane and Scottie was looking at the schedule and he said, I don't think we're gonna lose another game for 3 months. Imagine not losing a basketball game for 3 months in the NBA with the most talented players in the world. Hard work pays off. And one last quick little note, we also saw another touch of Michael Jordan's competitiveness. Bradford Smith, a rookie at the time, had a great game against Michael Jordan. He didn't think anything of it. MJ took that personal, as he did with anybody who tried to light it up on him. I don't even think Bradford Smith was intentionally trying to light it up on MJ, but MJ again took it personal. And by personal, I mean he made sure the next time they played, he was on Bradford Smith and that he lit it up on him. Same thing with BJ Armstrong when they were playing each other in the '98 playoffs. BJ had a good game and MJ said, great, watch this. That's what made MJ so great. Every little thing, even if someone's not intentionally trying to bother him, he's gonna make something out of it and make sure he wins. And there you have it. Those are my opinions and takeaways on part 7 and part 8 of the documentary. It is so sad it is almost over. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video and see you next time. Bye.